Hello everyone, my name's Cameron and welcome back to the channel. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering where the hell WWE 2K20 Universe Mode has been. Now this video is going to be a explanation as to where exactly WWE 2K20 Universe Mode has been and what's going on with it. Hopefully that's not too bothersome for you guys because I don't want to get up and turn it off right now. I'm a little too lazy to do that. Jesse and I have recently made the decision to stop WWE 2K20 Universe Mode. We were finding that we had a lot of, a very little desire to play Universe Mode for a while. And we were talking about playing it again and getting back into it, and then it just didn't sound interesting to either of us. Like, he didn't have any interest in it. I had very little interest in it. And a big thing is down to like the actual game itself just kind of wasn't something we enjoyed. And that's hard to say because we've been doing Universe Mode now since 2K16, where it's been a constant thing we've done every year, sometimes more than others. I know this isn't the first time we haven't had a very long Universe Mode. 2K16 we only had for a couple of months before 2K17 had released, so we decided to get 2K17. 2K18s went on. I think 2K18s was the first one we finished. We finished that, and we almost made it. I think we made it to about Survivor Series in 2K18 for the second time through. 2K19s went a decent amount. I think we at least made it to our first to Mania on that one. I know 2K17 we made it to Mania. We've made it to Mania a few times, but we've never made it as far as, we've never gone into a multiple series too far because we just haven't had the time. We haven't been super focused on playing the game. But 2K20, with how the game released and so many issues that the game had when it released, it really just became a situation of us not wanting to play it. And that's not a good thing when you have to do something that is a constant thing. Like, we have to play this constantly to get to a point where we can do a few get to a few points of these and get a few, maybe multiple years done in the game. For us, it really just turned into we had no desire to continue playing the game. And you guys probably saw it with my career mode. That ended really quick, and it's because I couldn't get into the career mode. I started it, I think I did 2 or 3 episodes, and I just lost all interest. Like, it had no pull. Like, it didn't pull me in. It didn't make me enjoy the story. 2K19's was so good, and they did so much insane stuff with 2K19 story mode, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It pulled me in really quick. I was drawn into the story. 2K20 started so weird, and it just didn't click with what I wanted it to be. It didn't pull me into it and make me believe that was my character. Didn't make me believe this is a story that I'm playing through. It's just kind of something there. And they've talked a lot about 2K22 story mode and saying they're going to change it up, and I'm hoping that's true because I really do want it to be less of a clear-cut story and more of my thing, more of my own thing, which I know 2K19's wasn't really that, but it had a story that at least pulled you in right off the bat. Obviously, 2K22 is knocking me out for a while because they're not doing 2K21. Battlegrounds is their main focus. Right now, it's getting released very soon. I'm not getting Battlegrounds, for those of you wondering. I do not plan to get the game. It does not look interesting to me. I've never been huge on the arcade fighting game style, especially when it comes to WWE's take on it. Like, a lot of their games haven't been that great in the past, so it just doesn't really draw an interest to me. So I'm just like, Jesse and I are like, we'll just wait till 2K22 and hope our skills are still there when we go to play the game again. I might still play some 2K20 occasionally, but I don't think I'm going to be putting it on the channel in any way, shape, or form. There was a lot of issues I had with 2K20 when it released. One of them being there was no creative championship, so I couldn't do Championship Scramble, which is the first year I haven't been able to do that since 2K18. Since 2K18 and 2K19, I did Championship Scramble for both those years. I didn't get to do it for 2K20. I might decide to do it now. I haven't fully decided yet. I've thought about it, but I'm kind of just like, you know what? There's so many issues with this, and it's like I have so much on the channel right now. There's not really much of a need to do Championship Scramble right now. I don't really have the space for it. Maybe in a couple months, I could maybe do like a quick thing of WWE Championships only because I wouldn't have time to do the whole Because if you guys don't know, I can actually go look at this because I still have the file for it. 2K20 Championship Scramble. I planned on doing 72 championships this year. That was my plan for 2K20. It was 72 championships. And so many championships weren't put in, and there was championships that weren't put in. There was no creative championship when it came out, and it made it very difficult for me to actually find the desire to do Championship Scramble. Like, I had 72 episodes of this planned, which meant I would have needed to do 2 episodes a week for, what is that, 36 weeks, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly. No. 72. Yeah, 36 weeks, 2 episodes a week would have been what I need to do. So I could still technically do all the championships. Who knows? I haven't fully decided if I want to do Championship Scramble yet. Right now, the channel, like I said, is very packed full of stuff, so there's no real desire to do it. I could technically, if I really wanted to, do the 72 right now, get it all set up how I want it. Obviously, I was going to have this be done with me and Jesse, so that can't really happen now, sadly. But I could very, very easily do it by myself again, which wouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah, Championship Scramble got canned right off the bat, and it really pissed me off. So it really made a lot of the desire I had going into 2K20 just fall flat. The originals was cool for a bit, but it also kind of pissed me off, I guess is the best way to say it. It's not that I didn't enjoy the originals content. I did. I actually loved playing through those. They were very interesting and very kind of odd stories that they put in there, but I liked them. However, I would have preferred actual DLC and actual superstars being added to the game rather than just that bullshit. Then there was the Roman Tower, which wasn't an actual showcase tower. It was just its kind of own tower. Its own special tower, which didn't have everything because Dean Ambrose had left the company, so you couldn't have everything in there from the Shield's career, which is kind of like, the fuck's the point then? Because you literally miss out on one of the best nights of WWE programming from 2016, and that is, well, 2 of the best nights actually. Roman versus Seth for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank when Dean cashed in at the end of the night and won the championship, and Battleground 2016 when they had their triple threat that Dean ended up winning, bringing the WWE Championship to SmackDown. Those were 2 of the best nights of wrestling in 2016, neither of which were allowed to be put in that fucking tower because Dean Ambrose wasn't with the company anymore. You can't just have some random guy fucking win that championship. You have to have it be them. Then that leads to the fucking Universal Championship tournament, the little mini tournament thing that led to Finn Balor becoming the first ever Universal Champion, which then led to Roman Reigns being in that match where Kevin Owens ended up winning it after Triple H screwed Seth and screwed Roman out of it. You have so many things that couldn't be mentioned, which kind of pisses me off because of Dean leaving. It's like, why do this then? Why not wait? Then there's the issue of the Women's Revolution being the showcase. Not that I have a problem with the women's wrestlers. I love the women's wrestlers. They're fantastic. But I feel like it's really soon to do that. Like, 10 or so years from now, yeah, do that. But why 2K20? Why do it now? It's still an ongoing... The Women's Evolution is still an ongoing thing. There's still things in WWE that they're fighting for the women's wrestlers. Why not keep it, wait a few more years and do something different with the showcase? I think they dropped the ball with a lot of different things, and the showcase was one of them, and it's not because they chose to do the women's. It's because I feel like they chose to do the Women's Revolution too early. Like, they could have waited a couple years and added more matches and added better matches. Like, some of the matches they have in that showcase are just the drizzling shits. Like, if you go through that whole match card, it's not worth... Like, they could have waited like another year, and they would have had so much... They could have waited another few years, and they could have had so many more good matches to put in there rather than some of the matches they actually had, which... They had like random matches that made no sense being in there. Like, big title matches, those make sense. But some of the matches were just like random Nia Jax and Natalya matches. I'm like, why are these in here? Like, they don't fit with the rest of the stuff. It was weird, man. Then, and like I said, the roster being originals and then the actual superstars was kind of a letdown because it really hindered how much you could have for the actual amount of superstars in the game. And again, the 100 limit for created superstars, I've always hated that. I will always hate that. I hope to God they increase it with 2K22. But yeah, I've always had issues with how limited you are to the created people and to different attires and stuff like that. So I hope they can fix some of that stuff up going into the next game. But yeah, so it came down to a lot of things for me and Jesse as to why we wanted to stop with 2K20 Universe Mode. A big one, I think, was just that we lost the desire very quick for the game because it just wasn't enjoyable to us. I still watch 2K20 content. You know, I watch Goran Perkins Universe Mode still because their Universe Mode is fantastic. But doing our own, it just, I don't know, it got to the point where we were both tired of it. So I know that means a lot of you are wondering, what the hell is going to be happening with our Universe Mode then? We were in the middle of first off, we were in the middle of a pay-per-view, which kind of sucks because, champions could have changed hands. Who knows? But what we've decided is our Money in the Bank briefcase holders will stay on the brands they are currently on, meaning CM Punk is on my brand, Kofi Kingston is on Jesse's, and they both move to a number one contender spot instead of the Money in the Bank slot, meaning Kofi Kingston is number one contender to the Undisputed Championship over on Raw, which is currently held by Chris Benoit, and Undertaker 02 Biker Taker has a rematch clause for it. My brand, Jeff Hardy, is currently holding the WWE Championship, with CM Punk having the number one contendership, most likely being the first pay-per-view of 2K22 for my brand will be that match. Next, Jesse's brand Women's Championship, the Raw Women's Championship, is currently held by AJ Lee, with Paige having a rematch clause. We decided that rematch clauses are also going to carry over. We didn't want to just half-ass it. We were either going to have all of them carry over and they stay on the brand they're on, or none of them do, and they can go to either brand, and if we want to give them a match for a title, they can take that chance. I don't know if this is the way I wanted it done, or if I would have rather, give them, give us free reign of these people, but if they get drafted, they still retain their rematch clause on the brand, or they get a match, number one contendership on the new brand that they go to. Who cares? Something along those lines, just to kind of give it a little bit more flair so there's less people on each brand already. But yeah, tag team champions, women's champion on my side, Ember Moon, with rematch clause held by Billie Kay, which will most likely be the very first pay-per-view of 2K22 for me. Tag team on Jesse's side, Edge and Christian. By the way, yes, he does have the full New Day, so he has two tag teams already. Edge and Christian holding championship, nobody rematch clause, nobody number one contendership. My brand, I have no champions because Harper and Rowan were my champions in the last time we played, and they're neither of them are in the game anymore, meaning the Usos have the number one contendership because they had a rematch clause, so they shifted over to the number one contendership because of their rematch clause that they had going into the last pay-per-view we were on in that one. For those of you wondering, that does mean I also have two tag teams. I have the Iconics and I have the Usos. There's a little bit of a surprise with the Usos that I'll tell you guys about at a later date once we're a little bit closer to WWE 2K22. It's not going to be coming out most likely until sometime late next year, about October next year, assuming they keep the release schedule. And they have announced that it's probably not going to be coming out on PS5 and Xbox Series X, just because they don't have the time to switch it, to get it ready to be switched over to that one without losing some of the quality of the game, which I think is the best option they can do. I think, delay it another year. You guys need to work on this one for this current console generation, 2K23. You guys can release it however the fuck you want. You can release it on both, or you can just release it on next gen. Who cares? United States champion on Jesse's side is Owen Hart, with a rematch clause held by Velveteen Dream. Intercontinental champion on my brand is Shawn Michaels 05, with nobody having a rematch clause or number one contendership because Shawn Michaels is a dominant fucking champion. European champion on Jesse's side, X-Pac, with Shinsuke Nakamura having a rematch clause. Cruiserweight champion on my side, Rey Mysterio, with nobody having a rematch clause, as Jack Gallagher has been released from the company, and because of his allegations during the Speaking Out movement being confirmed, we will not be downloading a created version of him. Hardcore champion on Jesse's brand, Tajiri, with a rematch clause held by Tinky. Who knows if we'll get that back, if we'll actually get Tinky back or not. It took us forever to find Tinky, or a version of him, I should say, on 2K20. So who knows if we'll find a version of him in 2K22 or not. If we don't, he'll be removed from this. If we do end up finding a version of him, he will still have his rematch clause whenever we can finally find him. And UK champion for my brand, Kurt Angle 01, with a rematch clause held by Drew Gulak. Now, I mentioned something with Jack Gallagher. If people have confirmed allegations, like if the allegations made about the people are confirmed, we are removing them. That has always been the way we've looked at domestic and assault, domestic abuse and assault in this. Now, a lot of people are going to be wondering, but what about Chris Benoit? It's a gray area. I look at the Benoit situation as WWE kind of has a huge result in that, and they never really fully took the blame that they should have. And I'm not trying to say that Benoit should be let off the hook. I don't think he should be. He should 100% be vilified for what he did, and it's horrible what he did. But WWE and his career in the ring also had an effect on that. Like, he completely changed, and the people who were closest to him even said that. And I feel like wrestling and WWE itself didn't really take the responsibility they should have taken during that, and that's kind of what led to the concussion lawsuits they've gotten, and the fact that CM Punk sued them, and so many other things. And you can see that they still didn't focus on it even after what happened with Chris Benoit. We look at it as, yes, it was a terrible thing he did, but we also know that the business had an impact and had an effect, and that's what happened. That's what led to that. I'm not trying to say I'm letting him off the hook or anything, but Jesse and I choose to look at Benoit's career rather than the tragedy that he committed. It's hard to do that. I every time we see anything with Chris Benoit, anytime we play with him in the game, he's always kind of in the back of your mind, like, okay, what he did was fucked up and he shouldn't have done it. But it's still one of those things of us just trying to remember one of the wrestlers from our childhood as best as we can. So it's why we keep Chris Benoit, even though he did something very fucking terrible, and we'll never ever forgive him for what he did. I don't think anyone can. But for those of you wondering, what does that mean for other superstars who have been called out? We've never had Joey Ryan, so that's fine. We've never had David Starr, so that's also fine. Marty Scurll was accused, but as far as I can tell, his was a situation of he didn't realize that the girl, when he started, he had said he thought it was, like, when he came out about it and talked about it, he said he thought it was consensual, which is kind of a gray area. Again, I want to wait and try to see if more stuff comes out about certain people and just kind of play the field and wait and try to, get as much information as we can before I just decide to start removing people from our universe mode. So Marty Scurll is one of those ones that we're kind of stuck on right now because we're not entirely sure because of his allegation. Will Ospreay has been removed, for those of you wondering. If you don't know what his allegation was, basically a female superstar got assaulted by a friend, a very close friend of Will Ospreay's, and Will Ospreay basically completely blacklisted her. He said, look, if you put her on this card, that's it, I'm done. He said they won't get this venue and stuff like that, and the company rolled over for it, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, fine then, if we can't get this because of that, then yeah, we'll make sure to take her off the card. And then they tried to just full on say he's the ass about it. Like, you guys could have just told him to go fuck himself. Like, who the fuck cares if you don't get a venue? You know what I mean? I feel like the company themselves is trying to save their ass by trying to play save face and just go back on it and say, oh, well, Will Ospreay's an asshole because of this reason. But it's like, yeah, but you guys didn't have to do it. You could have just said, fuck it. Who cares about the venue? Have a moral... It's a moral situation, but just say fuck it. Who cares about the venue? Find a different one. If it's really down to the point where you guys feel like you are being screwed over in a situation, do not keep the venue. That simple. A lot of the other people, Velveteen Dream included, who have been accused, either nothing's come of it, or there's just not enough information online about it. Jack Gallagher is one of the only ones who's really had his allegations confirmed WWE wise. Sammy Guevara, I don't know if I put him on here because we did have. I don't remember if we had him. I think we did. We are going to keep Sammy Guevara. He made a very tasteless joke, a very, very fucked up joke about Sasha Banks, but it's one of those situations of it was a joke. He obviously didn't mean it. He went to therapy, he went to rehab and all that, and his check for a month, he got suspended for a month without pay, and all of his pay went towards I think it was victim shelters or something along those lines, or charities for it. And there's so many people who are like, oh, get him off the screens, he doesn't deserve to be here. It's like, guys, he went to therapy, they've deemed him okay to return. Him and Sasha have talked, he has apologized. I don't know what else people want from this situation. It's not like other people who have been accused of things who are back or something. Velveteen Dream, I guess WWE did look into it and they didn't find anything. That's just what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. But Sammy Guevara went, he got the therapy. Him and Sasha talked. He apologized. She said it was, they've made up. It's not like Jimmy Havoc, who refused to go to rehab for his drug issues, who refused to go to therapy for the shit he was accused of, which was pretty much confirmed by him refusing to go to therapy because he thought nothing was wrong. Jimmy Havoc has been removed from our universe mode. We are not going to be using Jimmy Havoc because of his confirmed, his allegations were in fact confirmed. It's really tough with the shit because, like, obviously we don't want to upset people by having certain people kept in, and it might piss people off. It really might piss people off to just kind of keep these people in if something comes of it. But if nothing comes of it, obviously we're not going to keep it. Darby Allin got accused. Nothing's come of his, as far from what I've read. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, apparently Austin Theory was really messed up. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, shit. I don't know what's going to happen with Austin Theory. Because Austin Theory was apparently accused by a fan who at the time was 13 years old of very gross illicit things sent to this 13-year-old. Okay, so Austin Theory might get fired from the company. He got suspended. I know he got suspended because of this. So, who really knows where it's going to go? Again, a lot of these people, nothing's been said more since the allegations started. So, it's kind of one of those situations of we have to really just kind of wait and see where things go and see if anything comes of any of these. Trent Seven was accused. Jordan Devlin, Ligero, Travis Banks, Justin Roberts, James Ellsworth is pretty much already, his is already confirmed, so it doesn't really change anything. I thought Tyler Bate was also confirmed, or had been accused, but I don't remember. But yeah, there's a lot of people who have been put in this list, who have been put into this, and I can't find anything more recent than like June, except for just talking about Velveteen Dream's return. So it's hard to really find anything for this. Like, oh shit, maybe never mind. Maybe there's more. There might be more. So we can kind of figure some things out. Oh shit. What? Something with Riddle happened. Matt Riddle is taking to her to speak out about the allegation made by wrestler Candy Cartwright. Claims forced her to pleasure him and a van full of wrestlers before Riddle joined WWE. I've never sexually assaulted a man, woman, anybody that includes Candy Cartwright. In the video, he addressed, I never assaulted you. The story of that van trip, about that van trip and the driver being asleep and me forcing you to do stuff and hop on here is a complete lie. If ever it started because you were still mad, said Riddle. Riddle admits that he had an affair with Cartwright, cheated on his wife, and it is not something he's proud of or would brag about. He became sad and depressed because of their fling and all of lying he had to do. I feel like a real piece of crap cheating my wife and doing that, and now I have to talk about it publicly. He claims he broke it off with Cartwright, but she continued to try to contact him, has harassed his friends, family. At this point, if you don't realize you were stalking me or harassing me, you were crazy, said Riddle. He accuses her of using the speaking out movement to try to ruin his career. And then, yeah, there was obviously some actual... I remember hearing about Riddle's and that it was like a stalker sort of situation. So, yeah, it's possible that, yeah. I feel like his is one of those situations where yeah, it's one of those situations where it's somebody who used a situation that a lot of people were trying to make, you know, legit claims with, and some people were just saying, let's use this to try to ruin somebody's career, get clout. Oh shit! Ring of Honor. Marty Scurll lost his job as Ring of Honor head booker. Delirious is back as head booker, because of him being. Wow. So Marty Scurll got taken out because of the investigation for him. So it's a huge story and it's a huge thing, and obviously it's still going on now. So as more comes out, we'll figure out who's going to be removed and who's going to be kept with Universe Mode, and we'll go from there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. But yes, 2K20 Universe Mode is done. We will be back for 2K22 when it finally releases. I will be posting tons of content on here talking about it. Stay golden. Peace.